Intensive care units cater to patients with severe life-threatening illnesses and injuries which require continuous close monitoring and support. Access to critical care beds is a major advancement in healthcare delivery systems in saving lives. Today, we celebrate the Golden Jubilee of intensive care services in Sri Lanka. Our journey begins. The first intensive care unit in the country was established in 1968, 15 years after establishment of the world's first intensive care unit in Copenhagen. This was started in the National Hospital of Sri Lanka, formerly General Hospital, Colombo. The facility was officially named as Surgical Intensive Care Unit. This ICU was headed by Dr. Thisel Jayawardena, consultant anesthetist.
We also rely all along intensive care units at the moment have electronic monitors in our unit for the first time again in India, in Sri Lanka. And then we also have doctors and nurses who didn't have a clue about intensive care. I had to teach them from scratch.
A building intended for recovery area for operating complex was identified as the most suitable place to house the ICU. This ICU, now called Cardiothoracic Intensive Care Unit for post-operative cardiac surgical patients. The ICU had 6 beds with one-to-one nursing care. These nurses had special training on critical care. It was equipped with ECG monitors, invasive blood pressure monitoring facilities, 4 ventilators, and a blood gas analyzer.
I'm Mrs. Dayananda, who was Miss Mudannaika 50 years ago when we organized the ICU. At that time, there was no nurse familiar with intensive care nursing. Therefore, they selected me and sent me to UK for training in intensive care nursing.
In 1976, the second 4-bedded ICU was opened in the same hospital for post-surgical patients. It was more popular in the name of Recovery Intensive Care Unit.
When I was appointed consultant to the National Hospital, there was only one intensive care unit. It did not accept any cases from general surgeons. In 1976, Dr. Kenneth Pereira was able to establish a 4-bed ward called the Recovery Unit for the surgical cases. I assisted him at that time. Unfortunately, Dr. Kenneth moved to Jayawardena Hospital in 1982. I then took over the unit in addition to my anesthetic duties.
Today, this ICU has been developed to a state-of-the-art intensive care unit with bed strength of 10 and all the facilities and equipment. A large number of post-surgical patients benefits from this ICU annually. Keeping in par with the principle of equal opportunities to all, expansion of ICU facilities to the other parts of the country was recognized as a priority. The country's first multidisciplinary intensive care unit outside the capital city was established at the teaching hospital Peradeniya, situated in the ancient kingdom of the Central Province.
I had the good fortune to begin work at properly constructed hospital, which was the gift from Japan, which had all the functional units including an intensive care unit.
Thereafter, a 6-bedded ICU was declared open at the teaching hospital Jaffna, the capital city of the northern province.
I came to Jaffna as consultant anesthetist in 1977 because of the idea and the work of Dr. Sivakumar, the then physician here. He initiated the building of the ICU and it was opened on the 24th of January 1984.
Today, there are over 100 state-owned intensive care units in Sri Lanka, with over 500 critical care beds and approximately 3,000 admissions per month, staffed with more than 700 ICU doctors and 2,000 intensive care nurses. Most of these ICUs are multidisciplinary and headed by consultant anesthetists. The facilities of these units are ever increasing to keep up with the international standards. Today, critical care services are also expanded to the private sector hospitals and the leading private hospitals throughout the country, providing critical care services to needy and wealthy patients. In addition to the general intensive care units, highly specialized intensive care units such as neurosurgical, pediatric, cardiac ICUs are available in the country. The most important milestone of critical care in Sri Lanka is the commencement of the postgraduate training program in adult critical care in 2013 by the Board of Study in Anesthesiology of the Postgraduate Institute of Medicine of the University of Colombo.
The current program for specializing in critical care medicine is a post-MD program. Following the MD Anesthesiology and MD Medicine, the trainee can select critical care medicine for super specialization.
Vision of the Ministry of Health and the College of Anesthesiologists and Intensivists of Sri Lanka is to improve critical care services in the country to achieve comparable standards as in the developed world. The improvement of continuous medical education in this field is also mandatory to all categories of staff, as critical care is a very dynamic field needing new knowledge to maintain high standards of care. We, as intensivists, have identified the importance of early recognition of deteriorating patients in the general wards to support them for an early recovery to be with their loved ones.